everything you thought you knew about college football, throw it out the window after this weekend. It was such an exciting weekend of wins and losses for the unexpected teams. Of course, 2, 3, and 4 all going down. I think ladies, there are a couple things, though, that we still know. Those teams that lost this weekend, they're still in contention as long as they win out, so it's not full panic mode. The second thing we know is Alabama is the only remaining team, and their dominance continues in college football.
Yeah, I mean, that's what just sticks out to me. I mean, there's a reason they have 4 titles in the past 7 seasons. And I think the thing that sticks out to me for the way that they are performing, as dominant as they are, and that for the first time all season, a clear #1, is still, and you know this, you've seen it, the starting a freshman quarterback in Jalen Hurts, who's just done so well, and yet their defense has been so dominant. And you know, with scoring defense, you know, what do they have? 12 touchdowns in 10 games. I think it's pretty compelling that they are the clear #1. And then as for everything else, talk amongst yourselves.
But Allie, Andrea makes the point. It is so compelling that they are undefeated, but it also speaks to the fact of how difficult it is to be undefeated. You raised the point that all these teams that we thought were so dominant, I was sitting in this chair and I thought Michigan had the best chance to go undefeated. You're the only one at the table that can talk to us.
It's not so difficult, actually.
What does Layla know about being undefeated?
Really?
I mean, obviously boxing is different than football, but I would say that, you know, when you're undefeated, first of all, it takes a lot of work to get there, right? Behind the scenes that people don't see and focus. And then once you're at the top, everyone's gunning for you, right? Everyone's studying you, trying to figure out a way to beat you. And you can't get complacent. You have to go in there and work just as hard. So
what is the mental challenge to always get up? I mean, does Nick Saban get credit for that?
I think definitely having a good coach. When you have that many men that you're dealing with, obviously I come from an individual sport, so I have to kind of stay on top of myself, you know. But I think that, you know, you definitely have to, as a coach, inspire your team and remind them how they got there and to tell them how they need to stay there, for sure.
Outside of that, I love that everybody else lost because I love losses. I love the idea of a one. I know that was such a terrible way to say it, but really, I love the idea of teams being 1 or 2 losses and still we're talking about them being in contention.
It makes it a lot more interesting. You know, with Michigan, Clemson, Washington all going down, now a lot of teams are in the mix. Now, crazy things have to happen to the point where I tried to play out different scenarios of who had to win what and who had to beat who, and if this happens and that happens, we could go on for 3 full days coming up with scenarios, and most of them are still very unlikely. These are the teams that are really in contention if they control their own destiny. You know, to your point about Alabama, I think one of the things that makes them so special year after year is that they play a tough schedule. You know, they went 7-0 to start the season. 4 of those 7 games were against ranked opponents. They want to play the best. They're that confident. They have such a well-oiled machine that, like you said, you can plug in a freshman quarterback who's a dual threat like Jalen Hurts, who comes in and plays like a veteran. Their defense is incredible, like you said.
Give them the trophy now. Just give them the trophy.
But, you know, we've seen in the past, they do have flaws. LSU held them to just 10 points in a game 2 weeks ago. So they can be beat. Everybody can be beat. We have to remember that, as we saw this weekend. So we can't forget that.